The boys! Yo, it's the boy, Will Compton, with Bussin' with the Boys. We're at Bridgestone Arena right now with Nashville's own Caleb Sweethands plant. He's gonna be headlining this place February 15th. Jump on StubHub like I already did. Get your tickets there. But he's in camp right now, flew in from Vegas. We couldn't get a full-length pod. So we're gonna try and settle and get a quick interview with him exclusively going in here. First time under Bussin' with the Boys, media pass, press conference. If you see an interview, then that means everything went well. Let's go.
As we get set for a big night of Premier Boxing Champions on Saturday, February 15th here at the tremendous Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville, Tennessee. We go live on Fox on that very evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific time, 7 local time, as your very own Caleb Sweethands plant returns to put his world championship on the line against the hard-hitting Vincent Feigenbutz.
So I want all the media to know, I want everyone here to know, everyone who's going to see this to know, everyone who's going to be in the building February 15th to know, and everyone who's going to be tuned in February 15th to know that this world title is staying right here in Tennessee.
Caleb, appreciate you joining me, man.
Of course.
I see we're touching knees, so I appreciate the intimacy as well.
Yes.
But you've been in the fight game now 17, 18 years. You have an absolutely insane story from losing your mom, losing your daughter, probably a lot of financial adversity growing up. I'm always so interested and obsessed with people and their stories and their mindset when success hits, their mindset when adversity is there, when life hits you in the mouth. And you're somebody who's been hit in the mouth by life a lot.
Yep.
And you know, as Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. What are some things that you fall back on during these times of adversity, during these moments that I'm speaking about? Is it books? Is it videos? Is it people? Is it mentors? Is it faith? Like what is in the mind of Caleb Plant when this stuff happens?
For me, it's in here. It's in my head. It's maybe something that my father instilled in me. It's either you can quit or you can keep going. I think people try to make things a lot more complicated than they have to be. You can either quit or you can keep going. And if it's one thing that I'm not a quitter. I don't quit anything.
Is this something that when these times happen, there's the moments when it's like, yo, I don't want to box today or go to the gym, because everybody has all their times when you don't want to work out or go to the field. Is it your father? Is it stuff like that? Is it something that's internally that you feel you lean on self that you've learned over time?
As a kid, it'd be him talking to me, and also in here. But then the older I've gotten, it's been in here, and also his voice. I hear his voice in my head. He's pounded in my head that whatever you're not willing to do, there's somebody else out there who is. Whatever that you're not willing to do, there's somebody else out there who is, because they come from a rougher place, a darker place, a colder place. So it's simple. You can either do this work, or he has assured me that there's someone else out there who is doing that work. And I don't want to be outworked. I'm competitive. I don't want people working harder than me. I don't want people looking better than me when it's showtime. I want to win. So
there's people out there that want what you have.
There's people out there who want what I have, and they're doing everything in their power to take it from me. So if you're not doing everything in your power to make sure that doesn't happen, eventually it's going to slip right from your hands. So
now it's January 12th is when you won the title, correct?
Yes.
A little over a year ago, it's the anniversary of you winning the world championship.
Yeah.
You are the champion of the fucking world, dude, in your weight division.
Whole wide world.
How has that mental changed, or what are some things that has there been any surprises since now? Because now you're sexier, no homo. Your jokes are better. Everyone wants to shake your hand. Hell, Bussin' with the Boys has been approaching you. How has all these things? How have you had to learn mentally that at all the success that has came for you? How have you had to adapt your mindset, or how have you had to protect it?
I feel like long before that, I've never really been caught up in the lights and the cameras and the praises. if praises push you along, then that means that the negative things that get said will also hold you back. If it's praises that you need and that affect you, then the negative comments will also affect you. So I don't really get caught up in what people say, whether it's good or bad. I appreciate the praise. I appreciate the hate. But I've never really been too caught up in the lights and the cameras. I just like to work. I like boxing. I like fighting. And I go to the gym. I go back home into my cave. And when it's time to come back out of my kennel, then I go back out and I get the work done.
You said of my kennel. I love that.
Yeah, I'm a dog.
You've paved the way for Nashville fighting, for boxing. And you got guys on this card that are from Nashville as well. Paving the way, I would assume, not knowing anything, you probably left money on the table compared to fighting in somewhere like Vegas. Why is it important to have this at Bridgestone or in Nashville?
Well, like I said on stage earlier, it's been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember to bring a world title back home and defend it successfully in front of all my friends and my fans and my peers. And to be honest with you, the check don't really change. So as long
that's
as
good.
Yeah, I'm undefeated. I'm the champ. So I'll press for that hard. I got a great team with me, around me with Al Heyman and Luis Kubis. And I pressed. I said, Al, Nashville's a huge city, man. We got to take it home. We got to do something.
And I say that too in a way of like, to me, it's dope that you want it to happen where you kind of grew up instead of going to a big stage like everybody usually does. It's important for you to have it back in front of people that you want to shine for your city.
Yep, I won it in January. I still had some things to do, as I keep saying. I think people forget I only have 19 fights. So I defended it in Vegas on the Manny Pacquiao. He was the main event of Fox pay-per-view. I was the main event of Fox on the Fox portion. And right after that, I was like, it's time. We need to go home. And he said, let's do it. And Vegas will always be there. I can always fight in Vegas. I can always fight in Tennessee, but I can always go to Vegas. I can always go to Brooklyn or LA. But I just felt like it was important to bring this fight home. And like I said, in front of all my friends and fans and peers, and knock this boy out. So.
I know it means a lot too, because you were at your presser and you were talking about having the fight in Nashville, and you almost got choked up for a minute because it means something like that to you. And I hope people understand that, everybody who's watching this needs to come out and support the boy. Yeah. And I think it's huge that you knock this dude out in front of your home city.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, everything that I've said thus far, I said I was gonna win that world title in fashion. I did it. I said I was gonna defend it in fashion. I did it. I said in my last fight that it's not going 12 rounds, that either he'll wave the white flag or I'll wave it for him. And I'm telling you once again that either he'll wave the white flag or I'll wave it for him, because this fight's not going 12 rounds. So it's going to end in a knockout.
I love that. You have a documentary coming out in the future.
Yes.
It's been 5 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like to bet on yourself like that and maybe not understand it at first, what you were doing, and trusting cardboard films and people to capture it, and then also how it's kind of unfolded? I mean, 5 years, bro. You gotta obviously have a type of confidence. There's always doubt, thinking, would this thing even be worth it, or is it gonna be dope? But what's it like kind of seeing it all unfold and, people being able to watch it at some point in the future?
Well, I just think that, they had approached me and, through my bigger sister, and was like, we've heard about your story. We want to do a documentary. And not to sound too big-headed or anything, but I knew someday that I would be at this point. I knew I would become a world champion. At 9 years old, I knew that one day I would be champion of the world. At that age, kids are wanting to be, doctors and astronauts and firefighters and policemen and football players. I wanted to be champion of the world. Yeah. And I knew for a fact that I would be champion of the world one day. And I knew that one day that if I got big enough, I'd be able to bring it back home. I didn't know I'd be able to do it in 19 fights, but I knew one day I'll be big enough I can bring this back home. And like you said, Cardboard Films, they've been following me for the last 5 years, documenting, all the backstories. You named a couple of things at the beginning of this, and that's just a small glimpse into some of the things that have happened, good and bad. And I'm just excited for this. It's coming to an end, and it's going to finish on a high note when we get my hand raised.
That's awesome. I appreciate you, Caleb.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
It's a wrap, fellas.